Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our news watch for the month of April 2020. And today we've got a couple of news stories that we'd like to talk about with you. Maybe you don't like wearing glasses, so you want to wear contact lenses. But now we've got something called smart contact lenses that can tell if you're getting dry eye syndrome. Very useful. And also we're talking about something this month about something happening in new Taipei City. We're going to have some immigrant dishes added to school lunches.
Ooh, and these particular dishes sound delicious. There's one dish from Thailand, another from Indonesia, and even from Vietnam. So the kids are going to get some exotic cuisine added to their school lunches. I think that's great. I think if you're young, it's a good time to experiment with different tastes, but I'm really excited first to hear about the contact lenses. You know, we have such smart folks in Taiwan. So we're going to talk about where this breakthrough was made. It was at a university, so you'll have to stay tuned to hear what happened and who did it. So let's get started. We're going to read both our news stories first, and then we'll be back to talk about some of these terms and some of these phrases.
Taiwanese university finds success with smart contact lenses. Researchers at Taiwan's National Jiao Tong University, NCTU, announced a breakthrough in medical technology in November 2019. The researchers, led by electrical and computer engineering professor Cho Junsheng, developed a smart contact lens that can instantly detect dry eye syndrome in the wearer's eyes. The lenses measure several key factors, including the concentration and evaporation rate of tears, as well as surface temperature. This information can help doctors more easily diagnose and prescribe medication for dry eye syndrome. NCTU wasn't the first to conceive of a contact lens with medical applications. Google abandoned a similar project that would have resulted in lenses that measured blood sugar levels. But where the tech giant failed, the university team succeeded by finding the right material for the job. Their lenses are made with silicone hydrogel and embedded circuits that don't come into contact with the eye. What's more, the lenses could be used for other purposes in the future, like AR entertainment or other medical technology. They're a big step forward in wearable technology that Taiwan can be proud of.
New Taipei City adds immigrant dishes to school lunches. In a move to embrace its immigrant population, New Taipei City has launched a new school lunch program that features regional foods from 7 different countries in Southeast Asia. Called the International Cuisine Education Program, the expanded lunch menu is being rolled out in 5 elementary schools in the city this year. Dishes like Thai basil chili pork, Indonesian turmeric rice, and Vietnamese chicken curry are examples of possible new options. The city government has also compiled a cookbook of 35 new immigrant dishes to educate students on foreign cuisine. New Taipei City Mayor Ho Yo-i stated at a press conference that the program reflects the city's evolving views by promoting greater diversity in its lunch offerings. In the city's elementary schools, nearly half of all second-generation immigrant students are from Southeast Asian families. Ho stated his hopes that the new program would help these students feel welcomed and included at their schools. With such delicious and varied offerings to set an example, other areas in Taiwan may follow by diversifying their school lunches as well.
All right, let's talk about these news stories that have been in the news recently. We've got one from Taiwan here having to do with contact lenses. Those are lenses that you put in your eyes if you don't want to wear glasses. Of course, if you don't need to wear glasses, then you don't need to have contact lenses at all, although some people still wear them because they change the color of your iris or something like that so that they look better. Sometimes people just kind of look, I guess, too much like a teacher or a professor or something if you wear glasses, if you want to look kind of attractive and modern and look
Sexy.
Kind of hip, then you don't want to wear regular glasses. You want to wear contact lenses. But there's a little problem if you wear those contact lenses. Your eye starts to get dry.
It's funny. I never needed glasses growing up, and all I wanted was a pair of glasses to wear. I thought it looked so fun. I know, it's crazy. You always want what you don't have. That's what it is. The phrase we use is the grass is always greener on the other side. But it usually isn't. You just think it is. So let's talk about these smart researchers at National Jiao Tong University. Good for them. So they announced a breakthrough. We use this word when we're talking about any significant advance or development or even achievement in some sort of area. For example, in science. So this is a big breakthrough, a significant breakthrough. Something that changes life for a lot of people would be a breakthrough. So there was a breakthrough in medical technology, and this happened back in November 2019. Now, the researchers, the people that actually had the breakthrough, they were led by electrical and computer engineering professor, Professor Cho. And he developed a smart contact lens that can instantly detect dry eye syndrome in the wearer's eyes. When you see that word smart added to some sort of product or technology, it just means it's been computerized. It's digital. They're using really high tech in order to produce something. So, yeah, pretty cool that they came up with this. I can't imagine putting some sort of technology in or on a contact lens because they're so thin,
And I'm not sure I want to have little wires close to my eyes like that.
True.
But I guess it could be useful if you suffer from dry eye syndrome, which we'll get to in a couple of seconds. So they had this medical breakthrough, and of course they developed a smart contact lens that can instantly detect dry eye syndrome in the wearer's eyes. So if you have dry eye syndrome, this contact lens, this smart contact lens, will instantly, right away, immediately know this. It will detect dry eye syndrome. So this could be useful for people who suffer from dry eye syndrome. And of course, the word syndrome oftentimes refers to a certain kind of sickness or condition that has various symptoms, like Williams syndrome. What else is there? There's Down syndrome. There are various medical problems that people have that are called some type of syndrome.
Yeah, I have a friend who has dry eye syndrome, and it's quite painful. So she ends up wearing her thick glasses a lot after she's been up for quite a few hours. So she tries to wear contacts earlier in the day, and then, her eyes get tired and dry. And so she takes them out and then wears her very thick glasses. She has terrible eyesight. Now, the lenses measure several key factors or several parts that are very important here, including the concentration and evaporation rate of tears, as well as surface temperature of the eye. That's amazing. When you're talking about evaporation, guys, it just means how quickly some sort of liquid turns into a gas or disappears. If it rains in Arizona, it's so hot that the water is not on the ground very long. It evaporates really quickly. So it can measure these things. Concentration, so how much of something is there. The rate of tears, the evaporation rate of tears. How fast do your tears in your eyes evaporate? And surface temperature. So it's actually measuring the temperature of your eyeball, which is very odd. I didn't even know that it had a temperature.
Probably does. And, of course, evaporation, one way to remember that word is the word vapor appears in the middle there. Vapor, of course, refers to water in its gaseous state. So, yes, it will measure the evaporation rate of those tears and the surface temperature. And this information can help doctors more easily diagnose and prescribe medication for dry eye syndrome. So, if a doctor wants to tell you what you have, the doctor needs to take various measurements so he or she can diagnose your sickness. Diagnose here just means basically to figure out what's wrong with you, what disease you have.
Yeah, so the first step in seeing a doctor and having, whatever issue you're struggling with get better, he will actually listen to your symptoms and then he'll decide what it might be, what sort of disease or syndrome or problem you're suffering from. And then they will either prescribe some sort of medication, or maybe it's just rehab. Maybe you need to do some exercising. To prescribe is to give somebody a prescription. Prescription is a piece of paper that lets a pharmacy fill that prescription, and then you usually take that home and you either swallow it or apply it to your skin or wherever you're suffering. Prescription. Only doctors can write those prescriptions. So they've got the ability now to diagnose your dry eye and then prescribe medication. It's pretty amazing.
It is. For example, I was prescribed medication when I had a bad cough a couple of months ago. Now here, NCTU, National Jiao Tong University, wasn't the first to conceive of a contact lens with medical applications. Yeah, Google did this before. They abandoned a similar project that would have resulted in lenses that measured blood sugar levels.
Wow.
So that would have been useful for diabetics who happen to wear contact lenses. But where the tech giant failed, the university team succeeded by finding the right material for the job. Oftentimes we have this phrase, where somebody failed, someone else succeeded. So they actually beat Google here, although the NCTU, they weren't trying to find this contact lens that can measure blood sugar, but one that can detect dry eye syndrome.
It's pretty amazing. So it says here that they just found the right material. Sometimes you have to keep testing different things. Their lenses are made with something called silicone hydrogel. You can look that up and see what that is. And embedded circuits that don't come into contact with the eye. When you embed something in something else, you put it inside, right? Sometimes they'll embed dogs and cats with a tracking device so that if your pet runs away, you'll be able to use an app and find them. A circuit is some sort of electronic wiring. I'm not good with this sort of thing. I'm not an engineer, but they put this sort of piece of wire, I guess. It has to be pretty tiny if it's inside the contact lens. And that doesn't come into contact with the eye. You'd have to be pretty brave to test this, though, right? I wouldn't want to be somebody who is that I volunteered to have this contact lens tested in my eyes. Eyes are precious.
Yeah, circuit basically is dian lu in Chinese, and they don't actually touch the eye. What's more, or in addition, the lenses could be used for other purposes in the future, like AR entertainment or other medical technology. So that's good news. It could detect other problems. And they're a big step forward in wearable technology that Taiwan can be proud of.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's going to know about what Taiwan can do, and they will invest heavily in Taiwan's stock market. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first article. We'll be right back to talk about the new immigrant dishes being served in New Taipei City.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们要看新闻。好，我们要读2则新闻。第一则新闻还是跟台湾的国立交通大学他们的研究成果有关。好，我们先看这一篇新闻。刚刚说到了这个国立大学它的成功，标题里面 success 注意到这是一个名词哦。那 success 当你是说在做某件事情的成功，通常你会讲 in doing something， 但是如果你像这边用 with， 听到了吗？ Success 后面 with 那就是表示有关某个事物上面的成功。所以这边说他们的成功是什么？是跟 smart contact lenses 有关。我们就来看他们的研究发现。好，首先这个时间呢，我们知道是在2019年的11月，那交通大学他们宣布了一个大突破。这个主导人是这位教授叫邱俊成教授，他是电机系的教授。那他就有一款的这个智慧隐形眼镜。好，我们看到这边提到这位教授，然后这个点上面要注意一个文法的结构，从 the researchers 后面的逗点，再接着写 LED 这个字。注意到 LED 是过去分词，当然我们知道过去分词放在这里，因为它是一个分词构句。那逗点中间的这一块就是要来修饰这些研究员是被邱俊成教授所带领的，他等于是在讲 researchers 后面 who were led by， 当然你不要用 who were， 就是直接用过去分词被动的语气，然后呢直接当作分词构句当修饰语。好，那我们再继续往下谈就说他们所开发的这款智慧隐形眼镜呢，可以做什么？它可以检测戴这种隐形眼镜的人，他是不是有干眼症。好，注意干眼症 dry eye syndrome。好，这样子说起来，那真的是蛮不错的因为我们知道，如果你眼睛太干，就不太适合戴隐形眼镜，而且容易出问题，对不对？那他这边就说了，他有测量了几个关键的点包括了你眼睛眼泪的浓度啦、蒸散的速率啦、眼球的表面温度等等。好，那我们接下来就看说，难道交通大学他们就是第一个有这种新发现、新科技的突破吗？说起来，下面就告诉大家，原来是这样子的，它不是第一个想出来的。我们注意到这一边的句构 wasn't the first to， 我们注意到 the first to， 当你用到叙述不管是 the first、the last， 你后面说第一个做什么，最后一个做什么，那个后面的动作必须要用不定词片语。好，不是 VING 是不定词片语。第一个像这边就是表示他并不是第一个想出这样子的点子的一个单位。好，那继续呢，他就说，那既然不是第一个，那是谁？原来是 Google， 因为呢 Google 他们一开始呢有一个计划是产出那种可以测血糖值的镜片，可是结果他们并没有成功。不过虽然他们失败了，但是他们失败的点，也就是这个团队交大这个团队他们成功的点。好，所以我们知道今天呢这个技术说起来对于台湾来说，我们真的可以深感自豪。他提到这样子一个 wearable technology 穿戴式的技术。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're going to dive into our second news story. The headline reads, New Taipei City adds immigrant dishes to school lunches. We're going to be talking about food, one of my favorite topics. So in a move to embrace or make the immigrant population feel welcome, New Taipei City has launched a new school lunch program. And what's different about this is it's going to feature regional foods from 7 different countries in Southeast Asia. I'm sure a lot of the listeners know we've got a lot of Southeast Asian folks right here in Taiwan. They're doing a lot of good work for the Taiwanese, and They have some really tasty food, I must say. They've decided to add some of my favorite dishes. So it's called the International Cuisine Education Program. A cuisine is just a specific type of food. It could be from one nation or even one area of the world. We've got different types of cuisine, because cuisines in America, you can make it countable. We've got Southwestern cuisine, we've got Northeastern cuisine. Here in Southeast Asia, there's some delicious types of dishes from countries like Thailand and Indonesia and Vietnam.
So here in Taiwan, of course, we've got Sichuan cuisine, we've got Taiwanese cuisine, Hakka cuisine, etc., etc. But these are cuisines from Southeast Asian countries. Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, etc. And the sentence continues, the expanded lunch menu is being rolled out in 5 elementary schools in the city this year. Here, the city is referring to New Taipei City, which was established a couple of years ago. I don't really think of it as a city myself.
I don't either.
I think it's just a bunch of suburbs around Taipei, except for Banqiao. That's kind of its own city. But in any case here, that's another subject. But the phrase here, to roll out, means to introduce this thing to the public, usually with a lot of fanfare, and everyone knows about it, and everybody gets excited about it.
Yeah, so if you're rolling something out, sometimes you have different steps in the process or some sort of procedure. And so it is in an organized way, you introduce something to the public or wherever you're rolling out a new program. So what have we got here? This is going to happen in 5 elementary schools in the city this year. It's fun. So it's the youngsters that get to taste these dishes. We've got Thai basil chili pork. Basil is a type of an herb. I love basil. I put basil in my soup when I make soup at home. We've got Indonesian turmeric rice. It's that really bright yellow color. I buy that and add it to some of my dishes at home as well. And then the third example here is Vietnamese chicken curry. Yum, yum, yum. So these are examples of possible new options. The city government has also compiled a cookbook of 35 new immigrant dishes to educate students on foreign cuisine. If you compile something, guys, you take different things and you put them together. Maybe you want to compile a scrapbook of your memories from elementary school through college. You put it together, but you're taking different things and then you're assembling the information or whatever you're putting together. This is kind of fun that they get to see a cookbook.
Yep, they're getting recipes from all sorts of different people and putting them all together. They're compiling them into a cookbook with 35 new immigrant dishes, and they will educate students on foreign cuisine, especially the foreign cuisine of Southeast Asian nations. Now, the new Taipei City Mayor Ho Yo-i stated at a press conference that the program reflects the city's evolving views by promoting greater diversity in its lunch offerings. So as you know, of course, more and more people from Southeast Asia are settling in Taiwan. So we've got these evolving views. To evolve just means to change slowly. And things are changing here in Taiwan. Maybe about 20 years ago, you never saw Vietnamese restaurants around. At least they were very rare. Or Indonesian restaurants, but now they're popping up all over the place. And now they're thinking, hey, you know, they're establishing their presence, so let's serve their food in our schools. Let everybody know about the diversity that Taiwan has now embraced.
Yeah, it's a great idea because these kids are quite young, and so they'll learn to enjoy some of these foreign flavors or exotic flavors as kids, and so it'll be easier for them. A lot of kids don't like to try new things, so I'm curious to see how this, how successful it is. I hope it's very successful. If they just give it a shot, they'll like this stuff. Now, in the city's elementary schools, nearly half of all second-generation immigrant students are from Southeast Asian families. I'm surprised at this figure. That's quite a few. Almost half, or nearly half, second generation means their parents came to Taiwan and they were born here. So they're Taiwanese. Their parents are Southeast Asian, but they are actually, I would call them Taiwanese because they were born here. They're second generation. So Ho, that's the mayor there in New Taipei City, he stated his hopes that the new program would help these students feel welcomed and included at their schools. Yeah, I'm sure they feel a lot more welcome when they go to eat lunch, and find out some of the smells and the tastes are things they're very familiar with because their mom cooked that growing up.
Right, so of course we've got all these second-generation immigrant students who are the children of parents who come from overseas, maybe the mother or father or maybe even both.
Both, yeah.
And then half of them are from Southeast Asian countries.
It's a lot.
The other half may be from other countries like North America, Africa, etc. So Host stated his hopes for the new program, and the hopes are that those students will feel welcomed. Now, with such delicious and varied offerings to set an example, other areas in Taiwan may follow by diversifying their school lunches as well. So maybe this will be successful in New Taipei City. So other areas of Taiwan will see that, like in Kaohsiung or Chiayi or whatever, and they'll think, hey, they had success with this school lunch program. We should try it too, and we'll all get to try these wonderful exotic foods that come from other countries.
When you diversify, guys, it means you try different things. It's not just all one of the same, right? So if you have diversity, that's the noun form of this word. It just means you have different types of the same thing. For example, diversity in race would be you have some Caucasians, some Asians, some Latinos. You've got a nice mix of things. So they're trying to diversify their school lunches. If it is successful in these few elementary schools, they're probably going to continue rolling out the program later in other areas. We hope it's successful. And if you haven't tried some of these dishes, don't be afraid to try. Give it a shot. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher.
好，我们接下来看第二则新闻。这个新闻内容是谈新北市这边有一个新的午餐计划。怎么说新的午餐计划呢？原来他现在要把东南亚7个不同国家的美食放进他们的午餐计划里面。好，我们首先看到这边这个句话里面说到说它是国际饮食教育扎根计划 called， 注意到这又是一个过去分词，我们用过去分词来开头，就表示这是一个分词构句，它有被动的含义。当然主词就是后面里面提到的 The expanded lunch menu。说到它是这个扩增的午餐菜单，好，这个被称为是国际饮食教育扎根计划。好，接下来下面他提到说，这个扩展的午餐菜单呢，现在会在新北市的5个小学推广。这里的时态也要注意，他用到了 is being rolled out。好 ，is 再加 bering， 这个时态要知道哦，这是现在进行再加被动，正在被推动。所以说，我们有进行式，又有被动的含义。接下来就提到说，他推出的菜单里面，大家知道它的中文是什么吗？像泰式打抛猪，像印尼姜黄饭，像粤式咖喱鸡，好，等等。那这些菜他们是东南亚国家的菜色，新北市的小朋友们真的有福气了。下面这段就说到市长侯友宜先生，他呢就提到说，应该要透过这种午餐供应，然后反映这个新北市的这种持续发展的观点。我们看到这个字 evolving， 他说到 the city's evolving views， 我们知道 evolve 就代表演化、演进、演变，所以说他讲的这种观点，也就是说这个城市观点正在不断的发展当中。好，我们今天的讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time for another edition of our program. And hey, you can do so while eating some great food from Southeast Asia. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.